Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy DJ, man, and welcome back to the pod, Mental Health, man.
Yes, sir.
This episode 4. Sorry I missed y'all last week. Had a lot going on. Had to regroup. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you guys quality over quantity. You feel me? So this week's episode is called Transparency. And what we're going to be talking a little bit about is, your personal growth, the road in which, you walk your own path through your own faith, and not looking towards others to compare what's going on with you. We'll talk a little bit about marriage and relationships. Then we're going to get into a little bit about fatherhood. I ain't no father yet, but we got some insight. We're going to talk a little bit about how, different men deal with fatherhood and, bringing in children into the world and such. So today we got my boy with me, man, my boy Cedric. My boy Sid, all the way from, man, why don't you tell him a little bit about yourself, Sid?
Man, born and raised in Las Vegas. Been here for, 29 years now, man. And I'm happy you here because now he can experience the snow that we're just magically starting to get.
From the East Coast to get away from it. And it's snowing in Vegas.
And he brought it here with him. And we appreciate him for that. Yes, we do. But man, a father, a husband, and man, just I like to just say a well-rounded dude. You know what I mean? I love engaging with new people. I love meeting new people. But I also like making sure that if there's a connection, that we grow that connection and that we just don't leave it from a first-time basis of, hey, man, he was cool, but not growing from that to see how we can work together, to see how we can benefit from each other. So thank you for having me, my brother.
Man, for sure. Man. So getting into the pod, talking about walking your own path and, personal growth and things. What are some things in life right now that you're working on, trying to achieve?
I think from a mental aspect, man, being able to control how I think, first and foremost of myself, and then just how I think and how I interact with others. Right. Not allowing the small things to get to me, not allowing things that are out of my control to be something that sways me this way and sways me that way. Man, lately, honestly, my word has been consistency. Being more consistent on my actions, being more consistent in allowing my words to follow my actions, getting into the gym, of course, trying to be like you, trying to be like you, but man, it's honestly just being more consistent. I think that's really what I'm working on to kind of cover everything.
For sure. So you're you're the type of person that's control what you can control.
Absolutely.
Let God take care of what you can't. Type of situation.
And learning to let it go when you give it to God.
Man.
You know what I mean? But
I think that was one of the things that I kind of used to weigh heavy on me. Just like things that I know I can't control. It's like, dang. Well, how can I still fix it? Trying to find a way to fix the things that you can't control. And that's the thing. That's going to drive me crazy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Trying to understand other people's thought process as well. Like when you're trying to think for other people, that's another thing that you can't control that. You know what I mean? It's going to put you in this spiral of why isn't everything going the way I want it to? And it's like, to be honest, that's kind of narcissistic as well too. You know what I'm saying? You sit here trying to control every situation and control people just so everything works in your way. It's very narcissistic.
Yeah.
But, what are some of the obstacles that have come about you, achieving or working on the thing that you're working on?
Lack of sleep. Wanting to make sure that I can literally work on something and it be so interesting, or you fall so deep into the rabbit hole, reading more, getting back into the grind of just reading, and not even like an audible, really getting into opening a book and flipping those pages and falling deeper in it. And then honestly, man, just making sure that I'm setting small goals. Even if it's just like, hey, today I just want to do 20 push-ups when I wake up. Or, hey, when I get off work, I want to go and take a mile walk. Or, I want to read this many chapters today. Holding myself accountable to those small goals, small obstacles, because I know small things are only going to lead to bigger and better to help you grow. So
I like that because a lot of times I tell a lot of my friends too, like, you got to celebrate every small win.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you get so caught up on celebrating the big wins all the time, I mean, you're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah.
every time something good happens, or you should celebrate it. You should put yourself in a position to where you're like, dang, I did that. Even if it's, you went to the gym 5 days a week, or it's like you said, you read a few chapters in your book, or whatever. You have to celebrate that because you have to start feeding your mind that positive mentality. You know what I'm saying? We sit here talking about mental health. Those are the things, the pat on the back. Everybody likes encouragement. Everybody likes, being boosted up and feeling good about themselves. So that just starts with you. You know what I'm saying? Self-love, self-improvement.
Yes, sir.
And that's definitely an obstacle that, is something we want to put on and talk about when men is, being able to celebrate and putting yourself, because it's hard to have, the outside world boosting it up. We walk outside every day and we have to pull our bootstraps up and figure out, all right, what's the next move? How can I put my family in a better situation? If you have kids, how am I making sure my kids are in the best situation possible, And that's life in itself, you know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about walking like your own path and, walking in your purpose, how do you feel about, or what is your thoughts on people comparing yourself to other people's situations? So basically what I'm asking is, how do you stay in your lane and not compare your current standings or situations in life to others?
Man, I'm big on if I don't know how to do it, I got a boy that can. So I'm real big on being very resourceful. A lot of my friends will say, man, you know everybody. Man, anytime we go somewhere, man, you know somebody. And the beauty of being able to walk into a room and knowing, hey man, I just saw my boy over here, or I just saw my boy over here, or hey, I saw one of my homegirls over here. Hey, that's a doctor, that's a carpenter, that's a painter.
Right.
Said, you know how to paint, man? No, but I got a carpenter that does. Right. So being able to understand that, man, I don't have to be good at everything. And just because I see another man is able to do it, or I see another person is able to do something, man, not being so, oh, why me? Or how come I can't do that? Or, oh man, I wish. Hey man, let me go ahead and go shake your hand and start a conversation with you. And let's see if we can connect. And even if we can't, let's exchange information so that you can benefit from me, I can benefit from you. And if we're even coming to a table, man, we have different hands in the pots that have different backgrounds where we can all benefit from. One of my favorite books, man, Peaks and Valleys. Peaks and Valleys speaks on it. Hey man, if we all have our peaks, we all have our valleys. If you're in the valley right now and you're looking at somebody else on their peak, man, don't be envious of them. Don't make it seem as if you can't get there. Man, go up to that peak and ask the questions. Hey man, what did you do to get here? You know what I mean? So man, for me, it's all love anytime. Like, even with this, man, I've talked about, man, I want to start a podcast. Man, I want to start a podcast. But to see one of my boys actually doing it, man, I can't do nothing but support that. And then watch you grow it into what it is, so that, man, the next person who actually says, hey, I want to start this, do you know? Oh yeah, absolutely. I got somebody that's already doing it, and he's been doing it for, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a year, 5 years. So man, that's literally all it is, brother, is staying in my lane, but also understanding that my lane is so diverse and it spreads so wide that, man, I may not know how, but at least I know somebody that does.
You're driving the freeway and you're sharing a road.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
You're driving the freeway and you're sharing a road. And I feel that, man. I feel that. It's a lot, but it goes, I was talking to Tay last night, and I was like, the word jealousy is an emotion. It's like love, it's like lust, it's like those things that, you can't control, you can't help.
Absolutely.
And jealousy comes at times like, dang, it's human nature. Like, dang, I'm not there yet. Dang, and that happens. But I told her, jealousy turns into envy when you push an action behind it. So when you move with ill intent or an ill action, that's when that jealousy turns into that little green monster on your back. And it's like, all right, you gotta reevaluate and reassess yourself, because now you're thinking, all right, what can I do to get myself in that situation, but you're doing it the wrong way, because you're just envious of what that person has or what he has going on.
Because you also don't even know what they had to do or what their struggle or path was to get there. Everybody always loves to finish a product. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves to finish a product. Man, this is a nice couch. But let somebody put the couch in front of you and it's not put together. Do you still see a couch? or do you just see a bunch of tools laying on the ground, and now you got to be the one and the person to put it together? So, absolutely, I agree, brother. Like, there's no point in being envious or having some ill will. Man, ask questions. And as men, it should be easier for us to get up, shake hands,
and talk about
it.
And I think it goes into just like how society puts us as men. We put against each other, for one. We're always like, well, you're competing for this position, you're competing for that position. It starts in sports, it starts in the offices, it starts everywhere. Like, hey, what can you do better than Johnny? Or how are you better than Johnny? Right. We're not looking at, hey, Johnny, let's get together and get this together and make it the best possible product. Right. Or let's get together and be in the best shape that we possibly can. It's always, how can I be a step ahead of someone else, when, you look at it as, two heads are better than one. That saying goes from way back in time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like what you said when you were saying you have a bunch of different avenues with friends. Like, all my groomsmen in my wedding, none of them are the same. Yeah. None of them have the same career fit. Well, I lied. Everybody was athletes. That's the one common, duality. But other than that, outside of that, I have a guy who is in law school at USC. He graduates in May.
Good stuff.
I have a guy in IT.
Okay.
My best friend, he's playing basketball overseas. And I got another guy, he lives in fucking Europe. Yeah. He does real estate and stuff like that. So it's like you said, being and having so many people around you that are well-rounded in different avenues and things like that, it's that saying is, show me who your friends are. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Being a very well-rounded person, and I pride myself in the people, that surround me. So when we first met, I was like, I'm a vibe person. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this vibe cool. I can't wait to really see, what else comes from that. You know what I'm saying? And every time we get there, it's just, like you said, it's the vibe every time. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe every time. So yeah, man, I feel like, man, and I'm very big on being in your lane and focusing on what you have going on and just locking in. Like, I'm on this gym journey right now, and you can attest for it. It's something that, it's not for the weak. But you got people around you that you work out with, and I got people that I work around with. And you have to understand, when you are on a journey, and yes, you do have people around you, you still have to figure out, you can't worry about the next person. Yeah, you're with me for, a better cause or for a better reason, or to motivate or help push. And that should be the only people that's around you. The people that motivate you, people that push you, the people that want to support and see, your blessings come to fruition. Yeah. If that's not around you, it's like a bad apple in the batch. It's just going to ruin the whole product. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel that, man. I really feel that.
Absolutely.
All right, man. So we're going to talk about the next segment we want to get into, which is marriage and relationships. Yeah. Now, we both deal with some pretty interesting females, I'd say. I don't know how you want to put it. We got to watch our words a little bit, because, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this to backfire a little bit.
Look, I just got done talking about the couch.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, I got the guest bedroom, so you're welcome here, though. But, all right, man, but for real. So, I want to ask, personally, what was the difference from being married versus dating? Or being in a relationship with your girlfriend versus being in a relationship with your wife?
I think for me, man, it was just communication. You know what I mean? Dating, it's easier to just get up and be like, all right, this is what I'm about to go do. I'll see you a little later. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you got plans today. This is what I was doing. If not, I'll see you tonight, or I'll just see you tomorrow. With marriage, it's a communication aspect of just being able to be open and honest and not feel like you're being judged, but also being able to say, like, hey, man, I should be able to come to you and just, kick it with you and chop it up with you and let that be what it is. And if I'm having a struggle with something, man, I should be able to come to my wife, who is my best friend, who is, the person that I decided to sit down and make a life with. It should be a lot easier for me to just be open and honest. So I think for me, brother, it's honestly just that communication factor. Everything else, though, literally is the same. The laughs, the making the memories, not really focusing on what everybody else is doing. Hey, man, what we doing today? Yeah. Okay, cool. We just want to hang out today. Hey, we want to go and explore a little bit. Yeah. Whatever the case is, it's just I don't know, man. It's special.
Yeah.
It is. It's special. Like.
And I think, so everybody asked me, you go, after we got married, it was like a month, 2 months. Everybody's like, how do you feel? Like, how do you, and I'm like, personally, like, our relationship doesn't feel different. It still feels, we were together 8 years, so it's like, personally, it doesn't feel different. But like I said, for me, I personally feel different because now I know my level of responsibility has hit another gear.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime I walk out the house, it's us. Like, yes, I'm still doing what I have to do to better myself as a man and better myself in the house, but at the end of the day, it comes back to us.
Yeah.
And the key, like you said, one of the key factors is communication. You guys should be able to talk about, finance. You guys should be able to talk about, having more kids or having, just stuff around the house, the little stuff.
Yeah.
I say we argue more about bigger stuff dating than we do arguing about stuff now when we're married.
Your arguments dating is like, well, why didn't you pick up the phone and call me? Or, where was you at? How'd your phone die? When you get married, your arguments literally turn into, what are we eating tonight?
Dog. No, and now that you said this, dog.
What are we eating tonight?
It's like I can't get past 2 weeks without getting in an argument about the food.
Some food.
And it's like, you hungry.
Yeah.
You asked me. Yeah. And babe, you know, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I will eat anything
that you
off
say.
that you bring that list to me. I don't care. I'll find something.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But when we sitting there going back and forth, and now you got an attitude because I said I don't want nothing. I mean, I don't know what I want. You pick.
Yeah.
You mad because now you got to make the decision. It's little stuff. But we were talking about, I was like, it's funny. You got to laugh at that shit because we just sat here and argued, and now we don't want to talk to each other because you didn't want to pick whether we have a Mexican or fucking Chinese.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's crazy to me. But, I mean, I feel that, man. And I think the important fact, and I will say this, even to younger people who are dating now, like, really date and really get to know that person. I think we're in a generation now where people are losing track and losing focus of knowing people. And when I say in relationships, yes, that's with your significant other, or that's even with the people that you bring around you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting to actually know the people that you're putting in your space.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like what I talked about in episode 3 was, protecting your space. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bringing these people, you're bringing that person into your environment, or, connecting with them. Yeah. That's a big move. That's detrimental.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's whether, and then once y'all get, y'all start, y'all moving in together, y'all doing all of this, that's when stuff really gets magnified, and you really start seeing who that person is day to day. Because you can't hide the day-to-day actions of people. No. Whether that's a roommate, your spouse, like I said, you can't hide, how those people are. So that's one of the things, man. I think marriage is definitely challenging, for sure. It's really just communication, though. And I think the old people have been telling us that for years.
Oh, yeah. But I think, I mean, our marriage story is way different. Like, you met, you dated, and then it was just like, boom, let's make this happen. And then from then it was okay. Now y'all are 2 years in, and you guys are still going at it. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I would definitely say, like you said, like, man, make sure that whoever it is that you are choosing to be with, man, make sure that person is actually solid. Yeah. Make sure that y'all have y'all platform alone. Make sure that there's some substance. Make sure that there's some common ground, and then just start to accept the things that come with being with that individual. Because, man, you'd be surprised. You wake up, what they say, you wake up with Beyonce, and then next thing you know, or you think you're going to sleep with Beyonce, and you wake up with.
Hey, bro. Y'all get Instagram tape.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all get Instagram tape 24/7. Like, I'm waking up to that every day. I love you, but
but you know what? It goes without saying, man. Without the makeup, without the fashion, man. Who are you at your core? Yep. And can I really rock with that? Yep. Hey, we're gonna have our differences. We're gonna have our moments of where we literally gotta just push everything to the side and really come together and get back on the same page. Nice. I don't even know if, like, for us, man, we don't finish the day out. If there's an argument or there's a disagreement, and I don't even like to say arguments, if there's a situation where you have to literally sit down and have a heart to heart, man, we're not going to sleep until that's done. Because when we wake up in the morning, hey, it's a new day. It's time to create new memories. Yep. And we're not going to ignore it, but we're still going to work towards bettering ourselves for us. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, man. It's an us thing. No more individuality. Mm-hmm. Not feeling like you doing this and I'm doing this and all.
It's a unit. It's
a unit. It's us.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. So we were talking about it. What is your take on the 50-50? Like, do you feel like relationships are 50-50? Like, what is your take on what goes in the pot?
Honestly, my views on the 50-50, man, I've never believed in it.
Never.
And I'm not saying it from a standpoint of like, I give 50, so you give 50. Hey, man, some days I'm going to give 90%. Because right now you mentally are going through something yourself where you can give me only 10.
Yeah. Right.
And if I as your husband, or if I as your man, or if I'm as your significant other, have to accept that 10, because I know that just last week when I was only able to give 10 and you gave me the 90, there was no judgment behind it. There was no ill will behind it. I always like to say, man, if one of us is up and the other is down, that's great. But if both of us are down, we got to work together to get back up. Yeah. Or somebody has to say, hey, you know what? This really ain't as big as it seems. Let's go ahead and find a different avenue. Right. You know what I'm saying? But from finances to, man, there's no such thing as a 50-50.
Yeah.
Man, we are both working towards something that's going to benefit the both of us. Regardless of if you're good or not, whatever you are able to offer whatever you're able to offer today is not going to be the same as what you were then able to offer tomorrow.
Right.
And being mindful and paying attention to that. Not, well, I did this.
So why
you not doing that? And sometimes, you know what, man, we even still fall short to that. To where it's like, hey, man, I did do this. Why aren't you doing that? But then you also have to take that step back and realize, hey, man, look around you. What was she possibly going through that you may have overlooked because you were too busy worrying about your percentage and you weren't paying attention to the woman that you have? You dig what I'm saying? So when you take that step back and you look at it from that perspective, it's like, man, what is a 50-50?
To me, that I never really fell into that. And every time we talk about 50-50 and the conversation comes up, everyone always wants to talk about, all right, well, you're going to date, who's footing the bill? Bro, that ain't even something we argue about whose card is going on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I got it. You know, and to me, that whole 50-50 thing, like you said, it's like some days I got it, some days I don't got it. And, you know, me dealing with a lot of mental health, there's a lot of days that I don't have it. Yeah. And the best thing for me is my wife, my best friend, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the times she carries a lot of the weight that, you know, that I get tired of holding mentally, you know? And I think that's the best feeling, that's the comfort. And I tell people that's one of the main valuable things that you can get from your significant other is knowing that, you know, you have ties into someone that you can go to. You have a safe space or someone that you can feel comfortable. Absolutely. Now, I may not sometimes, you know, express or verbally communicate that to her, you know, just being a man, you know, that's what men do sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get caught up in, all right, I'm a man, I should eat it up, I should, you know, keep it to myself and figure out how to get out of the situation, because what I'm trying to do is what's best for us. Right. And I'm starting to grow out of that, you know, and realize, like, it is us. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's growing with me growing up and realizing, like, you know, I'm getting through the shit that I have to get through in my life, and I'm coming to terms with that. And I have somebody who's willing to ride and willing to take a lot of that heat that, you know, I can't always take. So I think the blessing on having someone who's willing to not play the percentage game is a beautiful thing. Oh, yeah. You know?
Because, I mean, and at some point, like, man, me watching even, like, my dad, man, my dad was real good at just executing. Man, if this got to be done, execute. If this got to be done, execute. I think sometimes, even as being a man, that pride shit will break you.
Man, it'll eat you up.
And sometimes what we even have to realize is, man, the pride is never going to be bigger than the marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pride can never be as big as a marriage. So even if I am trying to figure it out, man, if my pride is blocking me from going to my wife and saying, babe, this is what I'm working on. I know this is what you said you wanted. I'm trying to figure it out.
She may have a fucking
Baby,
solution.
hey, I need help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like even on that stance, like we'll get so caught up in trying to go after it and figure it out that, man, when we take a step back and we go to our wife, man, she might be able to cancel out five of the steps because she knows that
there's a way to get to this before you gotta do this.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny because I always sometimes I may know the answer, but I will ask Tay, like, what is your opinion on this? Or what do you think on this? And I may not know it, but I'll ask her just because I value her input on whatever is going on.
Absolutely.
And just like even with the podcast, like I'm always asking her, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Mind you, it's a podcast for men, but at the same time, I value my wife because my wife knows me.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, she's like, I know you probably not thinking straight, or you know that you would have said this instead of that.
Yeah.
I know what you are into. I know what you like. You know, let me do this. Let me say this because I know you would have said it this way. Or, you know, it's just certain things that, you know, your wife can bring to the table or your significant other if y'all really in tune and really in sync. And you get that pride out the way.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of times pride gets, like you said, pride gets in the way and it blocks your blessings because you're sitting here so caught up on, I got to do it this way because this is the way I'm seeing it right now.
Facts.
You get clouded. You get, you know, that's in everything. Your decision making, you know, who you choose to date, what job it's all pride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may not take a job here because it pays a little less, but they may have more benefits that you need, and you want to go and take the other job just because at the time it seems like, oh, they throwing this at me, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
There's no room for growth, no promotions, you're not getting no benefits, you know what I'm saying? And to be talking about you want to build a family, all that stuff is important, man. Health insurance, all that, you got to start thinking and weighing out the pros and the cons of situations.
Absolutely.
And if you're sitting here talking about being with someone and being in unit, you know, both inputs are important. You got to pour all of that into the same pot.
Very important.
You know what I'm saying? So, I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But, man, marriage is, what I will say is don't feel pressured into marriage, man. It's on your own time. It's on your own speed. Date. Get to know that person. Yeah. And even when you are married, still date.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was looking at this post, it came up the other day, the 777 rule for dating. It's like every 7 days go on a date. Every 7 weeks, take a trip or staycation, and then every 7 months, go out of the country. Yeah. You know, and it's so many different people vary. They do the 5-5-5, whatever. But I think it's just keeping that relationship fresh and seeing why you fell in love with that person. Because think about it, when you courted the person so long to get them, and now you got them, it's just like that's like having a car. You buy a car. You can't just buy a car, drive it forever. Don't put no oil, don't put no gas. You don't get the brakes fixed. You don't get nothing fixed. And what's gonna happen? That motherfucker gonna break down.
You went from a new car to a hoopty in a matter of
real quick. And the hoopty is called divorce. You feel me?
Yeah.
So people who out there, you married, fix your cars, put some oil in it, get your oil checked.
Cause you know what,
check
man?
Engine light, all that.
After a while, bro, you evolve. You evolve individually, and you evolve within your marriage. So you're not dealing with the same person from a year ago.
Facts.
New likes, new wants, new ideas, new what am I trying to say? Just over round new person. And I feel like that's like the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? You get to grow personally, but then you also get to see and cheer your person on to elevate and be that cheerleader for them in their own self-growth. So
yeah, man. Every time I get to a card, I think one of the main lines I write is like, I'm loving seeing your growth as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because one of the main obstacles we face in our marriage is the fact that we are interracial. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. We come from two totally different backgrounds with two totally different skin colors, whatever. Yeah. But I look at it as like I can't help who I love. I didn't marry Tay because she was a white woman and I'm like, oh, I'm in a white woman. Like that's not something that I went out and set out to do. And I hate when people perceive it to be like, oh, that's what you went and do. Oh, your sisters is black. Your mother, yes, they are. So I know and I appreciate women. And I've seen black men disrespect my brother. my mother, and disrespecting my sister. So it has nothing to do with just saying, oh, I'm with a white woman or she's with a white man or whatever. That doesn't matter. To me, it's about love and who cares for you.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that we're interracial and she comes from a totally different background than I do, she's accepted everything. She's seen the worst of the worst. She's seen the best of the best where I come from.
Facts.
You know, dealing with family or dealing with the struggles that I've come from or how my upbringing, and she never judged me.
Yeah.
So it's like for people to judge my relationship based off of color is just like that's asinine.
That
real.
shows
That's
you
crazy.
how behind the ball you are as an individual.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes our bond so strong is that we now have a common, you know, I don't want to say an enemy, but we have a common purpose of showing people that it's not about our skin color, it's about why we love each other and why we care.
Right.
Our wedding was full of so many mixed, blended families. Like her mother is German, her dad's Canadian. You know, my parents, you know, my great grandpa is Irish.
Yeah.
White man, orange hair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my family comes from so many backgrounds. Your wife is Creole,
Right.
so and my family's Creole. So that's such a blended mix. I already knew. I've seen my uncles and my aunts with white men or with my white men. You know what I'm saying? So it's like none of that ever fazed me. I picked my wife and chose my partner because that's who I love. They showed me love. They showed me what it is to support something, push behind somebody. And I think we lose facts, and you know that's the foundation of a good relationship is support.
Absolutely.
And motivating that person, like you said, to want to be better. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, what can I do to be better for her?
Right.
Which is one of the reasons I took mental health seriously, because it's like I know it's something I deal with. So for me to sit here and say I want to be on this roller coaster with her forever,
Right.
is like, well, we need to figure out, or I need to figure out myself because I need to be better for her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
I'm just letting y'all know. All the little, oh, you dated a white girl, that shit, I don't care about none of that. For real.
Because at the end of the day,
I'm dating Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm married to Taylor. That's who. I'm not married to a white woman.
Yeah.
I'm married to Taylor Fry. She has my last name. Remember that. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, keep that to the left.
Talk heavy.
You know what I'm saying? I stand on that, and I'm putting some respect on that.
Talk
You feel
heavy.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. All right, so we're gonna get to a little subject that's a little. I don't know nothing about it right now.
Come on.
So I want you to, fill me in because I think we're getting to that point where we're gonna start, building our family. So we're gonna get into the fatherhood aspect, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. What I want to say, what is the best part that you would say about being a father? What's the best part to you?
Knowing that no matter where you are in your life, man, that little person is always looking at the good that you do.
Yeah.
Even when you stumble, it's immediate gratification to let you know that it's gonna be okay. There's never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And there's always an opportunity for you to learn, but for you to also provide direction.
Yeah.
Man, I've known that I wanted to be a dad when my dad was coming home, and I would just see the reaction that I had with him coming home. You hear the garage go up,
Pops on.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then running downstairs and having him open the garage door, and he turns the light on, and he can't even turn around yet before he's got a 7-year-old jumping through the air to hug him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then going back upstairs, and literally, I even remember it as a kid, just being able to say, man, I pray that my kids have the same reaction that I do. You know what I mean? Even when you get on me, or even when you discipline me, man, after I wipe my tears, man, I'm coming and I'm hanging out with you. So, Dad, what are we gonna do now? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, man, the being a father, bro, I guess it opens up a whole new idea and perspective just on self and what you want your child to be able to accomplish based off of what they want to do with their own lives. So yeah, man, it's lit. Like, I got a 9-year-old. I got one on the way, and bruh,
Man, one of the ways.
like for real, like.
All right, so what Okay, so that's the best part. What could I say? What was something, or what's something that you could not have prepared for with being a father? Like it was just blindsided, something you couldn't even, something you just couldn't be ready for, I guess.
I mean, for me, man, every day is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some days you're gonna wake up and man, your kid's gonna be good. They're not gonna be sick.
Mm-hmm.
Other days, man, they're going to be sick, and there's no manual on what to do. You take them to the doctor. Okay, that didn't work. You give them some medicine. Okay, that didn't work. You try those old school remedies.
Yeah.
Sometimes that don't work.
Yeah.
And then another thing is just, man, having them understand. Every kid is different. Every kid has their different likes and their different wants. To specifically say like one thing, man, I can't, because you literally wake up and you wake them up, and after you get excited of being able to see like, man, it's another day for you.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. I think the biggest thing probably with my daughter right now is having her understand, man, baby, not everyone is gonna like you.
Right.
You got the same personality as me. You have the same personality as your mom. But baby, sometimes people are just not going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
And having her come home and cry, and you hold her and you comfort her, but then you just let her know, hey, you are a likable person.
Mm-hmm.
But there are still other people in this world who like things a certain way, and you may not fall into that category.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with that. And having her kind of step back, and you can see she understands it, but it's still not registering, because the very next day, she goes right back in there. And that's like one thing that I love about her, man. She's persistent.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like me. Oh, no, you don't like me. Hey, I'm gonna make it.
Hey,
right.
what
You know what I'm saying?
What is it? What do I do?
And some days she's, hey, they played with me today.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Some days, hey, they really just told me like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, man, every day is something new.
Yeah.
But man, I wouldn't trade this for
nothing.
For nothing. For nothing.
All right. So being that now, okay, so
Yeah.
you have a wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also have your daughter, which is she has a different mother.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance the relationship, or being able to maneuver and having them both on the same page, if they're on the same page?
My daughter and my wife, or
Your
her
wife
mom?
and the mother of your child.
Uh,
Because at the end of the day, now it's your wife, and it's still the mother of your child, and
Yeah.
now we are a family.
Yeah.
So Kaylee is you,
yeah.
And then the mother of your child has had your child. So it's like they both have to come to an understanding that whatever we're doing at this moment is not for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's not for Kaylee, it's not for her, it's for your daughter.
I think, man, it falls on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because my communication with my daughter's mom pertains to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
My conversation with my wife pertaining to Tegan deals with what we have and the rules that we want to set in our house.
Yeah.
With my daughter and her mom, man, some days it's great.
Yeah.
Other days, man, I'm a complete jerk.
Yeah.
Some days it's great. Other times I may feel that she was out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, man, the common denominator is still Tegan and making sure that baby girl is good.
Yeah.
So you put all the side feelings to the side. Hey man, how does this benefit T?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't benefit T, then what do we need to do to make sure that it does benefit her? With Kay, man, from day one, bro.
Yeah.
From day one, that woman has come in. She observed.
Mm-hmm.
She found where she could fit in, and then she executed. And she holds Tegan to a standard.
Yeah.
If there's ever a situation where I gotta step in because, hey, this is what I want it to look like, then good. But man, even their relationship, you couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah, we might have our ups, our downs, our hurdles. At the end of the day, man, we go out in public and you would have just thought
it just flows. Yeah.
it flows.
Yeah.
But making sure that they're on the same page, man. As I feel like, as long as my communication is honest and open, man, the communication with them being on the same page is a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, if they talk on the phone, they'll see each other in public. Hey, how you doing? And I'm not asking y'all to be best friends.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
But we have a common denominator.
But we got a common denominator now. And with that common denominator, hey man, as long as all four of us, because now she's engaged, congratulations.
Yeah.
We're
not bitter black men.
Nah, as long as us four are on the same page, man, everything else is just gonna fall into place.
Yeah.
And when the main two have to have a conversation about the one that they birthed, to then go back home and give the other two, hey, this is what we need from y'all, then cool, that's what we do.
I agree with it. I agree with it, man. Coming from a home where it was blended, definitely, and having a stepdad and things like that. And I think looking at from the outside looking in, or from the inside looking out, and people who are dealing with women who have kids, or women who go deal with men having kids, don't go into the situation being a burden. Like for me, I've always wanted to have a comfortable household. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to look at it as like, okay, yeah, my mom is happy about bringing a dude in. It didn't work out with my dad. Cool. Right. But if you come in, like you said, build your own relationship. And if you're serious about it, put yourself in that situation. Don't be out here just trying to, ug off on a shorty just because you like her and she has a kid, and now you're inserting yourself in that kid's life because you're leaving an impersonation on kids at that time. Depending on how old they are or whatever, you're in their life and they're going to remember that, And
I think that's like honestly one of the biggest, it's a misconception. It's like, oh, she got a kid.
Yeah.
Man, the first question that was asked to me when me and my wife got together, you got any kids? Yep. Your baby mama crazy? My daughter's mom? No. We're actually good. But you see the correction.
Yeah.
Man, my daughter's mom? Yeah. Nah. Hey, we understood, man, this ain't gonna work for us. Yeah. Okay, cool. You go your way, I go my way. But at the end of the day, we are going to make sure that, hey, little mama, you're gonna grow up to still be what we need you to be and what you need you to be.
Right.
I don't need you coming in here trying to play mom. I don't need you coming in trying to act as if you gotta make your stand. Hey, you gonna make your stand. Your personality alone is going to make your stand.
That's a personality.
You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, it's like, nah, man. People that look at other individuals that have kids and their immediate thing is, oh, well, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Man, you don't know if you are now killing a blessing for that child who needs you in their life.
Exactly.
But because you can't be open-minded, or because you've dated someone that already had kids and it didn't work out, you now carry that then over to another situation. Man, that one probably didn't work out because of y'all. This one will more than likely work out. And there's a beautiful child that's in the mix who is now able to engage with you and be blessed by what you have to offer. But man, immediately thinking that just because they got the kids, you got to come in and have a sense of purpose or urgency. Man, you are dating and married to me.
Nice.
This is an extension of me, but you ain't getting here until you prove yourself
to me
that I even want you around my kid. Yeah. You know what I mean? For my wife, man, she was the first one and the only one. Man, I typically have a 6-month rule. I gotta date you for 6 months before I even engage with the idea of you coming around.
I think that is a beautiful thing because it eliminates that revolving door of seeing so many people in and out, because it's like dad is dating. You know what I'm saying? This situation may not work out. Maybe in my my whole phase at this point. I don't want to keep bringing women, or I don't want to keep bringing people around my kids, and they get caught up on like, well, dang, I don't know what's going on. Like you said, Dave, you're leaving an impersonation on the child every time a new person comes in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a great rule. It works for some people. Some people follow it. Some people are like, whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, like, so many things affect kids. I don't have a child, but I once was a child. So I know the things that affected me, or the things that I saw, or the things that, that triggered me. So it's like, you have to think about your child from a perspective of if it was you too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what characteristics does this person bring that my child will then pick up on that could potentially impact my child from going down the road that I want her on, or the road that she now feels like she got to be on.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to speak up and saying, hey, that's not what she doing. This is the blueprint.
Yeah.
This what we working on.
Yeah.
And not feeling like it's got to be aggressive, and that's still something I got to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of times there'll be something that T is doing. The wife will come in, and they'll, of course, they have their own thing, and they'll. What do they say? It's multiple ways to get to a green light.
Yeah.
They may do it a different way, and I'm like, hey, what are y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool. All right, cool. My bad. You know what I mean? And not being so temperamental on, hey, this is still a piece of me. Mm-hmm. Having to release those reins and saying, hey, you are my wife now.
Yeah.
So I can't have that same, hey, she's only mine type attitude. Hey, man, you are here.
Yeah.
All right. Like, but if I see something, I'm gonna wheel you back there real quick. I'm gonna push your ass back on out there.
I'm really quick to just
all right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, man. Man, well-rounded, man. This was a great conversation, dog. I appreciate you, coming on and showing some love.
Man, I appreciate you.
And just, give me an insight on just so many things, because it's good to have a fresh voice. It's good to have, other people come in, like-minded people come in and talk about, just certain things that, a lot of men, we don't just sit and, how many times the homeboys sit and just talk like relationship, marriages and things like that, just bouncing off of ideas and such, man. But I want you guys to know, man, like, these conversations that, you guys listen to, these conversations that you guys watch, these are just everyday conversations that we should start having more. Putting men in a position or putting men in the same room where, we're able to bounce off, hey man, I'm dealing with this at the crib right now with wifey, or I'm dealing with this with the kids, or I'm dealing with this with the baby, with the mother of my child, or I'm dealing with this at work. So many things, because like you said earlier, we're on a freeway with so many other cars, and I'm sharing the road, so he might have the answers for me to get here, or he might have some advice. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's our POV on what's going on with us and how we dealing with it in the best way that we personally feel that works for us. You could try it, you know what I'm saying? Disclaimer. Don't do it if your wife she ain't feeling under it, you know what I'm saying? It's a disclaimer. I don't know what type of relationships, a spouse, grip, whatever, I don't know.
Right.
But I know it works. DJ said no work for said, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, just sharing your insight, giving your voice. You always welcome here. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I want to come back.
Hey, definitely. Father's Day coming up, I got a special for you. So definitely got to have you back, man. But I appreciate it. You always welcome, my boy.
Man, I appreciate you for
the
opportunity.
For sure.
Yes,
man,
sir.
Episode 4, man. Tune in next week. Make sure y'all stay blessed. And remember, man, good vibes only.